Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with Lido Loca, and I'm here today with kind of a special video. It's a video about how to pay for your cruise vacation. Alright, so we bop around the internet quite a bit. We visit other YouTubers' live streams. We have our own live weekly show, and a common question that comes up in many of these shows: how do you cruise so much? How can you afford to go on a cruise as often as you do? I think it's a common question out there, and I thought it'd be worth making a video to address it. First of all, I'll tell you a little bit about our story. We've been cruising since April 2017. We have been on 3 cruises, and we have our 4th cruise coming up at the end of the month on the Caribbean Princess. And so that sounds like a lot, and so I'm going to tell you a little bit how we did it and weave it all together. Now, what we've learned over the last 15 or so months is that you really, if you want to do it right, if you want to cruise a lot, you have to plan. But let me break it down for you. This is the way it works. All right, so we're going to break this video down into 3 steps, and this should get you on your way to more cruises. Number 1, you have to understand how much cruising costs. Number 2, you have to understand how you're going to pay for it. And then number 3, you have to figure out where you're going to get the money to pay for it. So number 1, how much does cruising cost? Now, basically, Jenny and I have been on 3 4-day cruises. Each one of those cruises for the 2 of us, I would say, cost no more than $2,000 all in. So that includes everything that we did on the cruise, traveling to the cruise port. So that's a pretty good baseline for us. Now, there's a lot of stuff that goes into the cost of cruising, from your initial cruise fare to your port fees, to your gratuities, to your taxes, to any souvenirs that you buy, traveling to the cruise port. The list is extensive. I'm going to link here to a really good video by Kevin and Frank over at Cruising with Wheels, where Frank breaks down a ton of different costs that you can encounter when you're cruising. I think it's great. Check that video out. And what I would do is, as that video rolls, I would make a list of the different costs that you think might apply to you, and then try to assign a number value to it. And at the end of the day, you're hoping to baseline your cruise cost. Now, again, we've gone on 3 and 4-day cruises. Our baseline is about $2,000 for a 4 to 5 day cruise. We're going on a 7-day cruise, and we really feel like that we can do that for around $3,000. And so that number is going to be different depending on what you do, the size of your family, but the main thing is that you come up with that number. And then once you have that number, you can say, okay, well, it's going to cost me $2,000. How am I going to pay for that? And you really can do it in 2 ways. You can pay it all at once, or you can pay it over time. Now, we don't always have $2,000 to pay at once, but I do want to give you some tips. There's some times in life where you might have kind of the bigger number to pay it all at once. Now, if you've been great and you save up, you can pay it all at once that way. But also, if you are somebody who works and gets paid every other week bi-weekly, there are 26 paydays in a year. If you can figure out how to live off of 24 paydays, there's going to be 2 months out of the year where you're going to have a 3rd paycheck. And that might be a good opportunity to pay for a cruise all at once. And then also, if you normally receive some sort of tax return, if you can decide not to use that for anything else, that might be a good opportunity to pay for your cruise vacation all at once. Those are special circumstances, and I think most people are kind of save up and pay over time. And the cruise lines do a really good job of helping you do that. And so you can book a cruise, and most of the time, and you have to check with the cruise line, but most of the time your final payment is not due until 60 or 90 days before your actual cruise. So you can put a deposit down on a cruise, and you can make monthly payments on almost all of the major cruise lines. And so with that in mind, the fact that you can do it on the monthly, it lends the opportunity to budget for your cruise. And so in my case, if I'm going to take 3 $2,000 cruises a year, that's about $6,000. And so to save up $6,000, you have to be putting away $500 a month. Now, to be honest, we're not on a plan like that. Most of our cruises we've just paid because we've been able to, we had a circumstance where we could pay it at one time, or actually put it on a credit card, which I don't know that I recommend. I would like to get to the place where I'm putting away money every month. And $500 is a lot of money to put away every month. So again, you just have to figure out what that number is for you, what the length of the cruise that you want to go on. Maybe you want to go on one 7-day cruise a year, and that's going to cost you $3,000. You know, that divided by 12 is $250. But so going back to the beginning, baseline how much your cruise cost, figure out whether you're going to be able to pay for it all at once, or if you're going to have to pay it over time, figure out how much money you need each month to pay it over time. So say you're going to spend $3,000 on cruising, you need $250 a month. Then you get to ask yourself the question, okay, well, where am I going to come up with $250 a month? Do I have that in my normal budget where I can just start putting that away in a savings account, start paying myself, building my cruise fund, or not? And if the answer is not, there's always two ways to come up with money. You can either make more money or you can spend less money. So we'll talk a little bit about the make more money. So like no time in history, the side hustle is alive. And so if you're working 40 or 50 hours a week and you feel like you can get 10 more out of yourself, do it. You could go pick up a part-time job in a traditional fashion, maybe make $50 or $80 a week in that 10 hours. Or do something crazy. Figure out what you can pick up at the Goodwill and at the thrift shop and sell for more on eBay. But the goal is to come up with a weekly number that's extra, that you're not going to touch, that's not a part of your normal bills, that's going to fund your cruise fund. And so say you're able to make $80 extra a week. There's 52 weeks in a year. Say you only work 50 of them on your side hustle, on your extra job. That's $4,000. So if you've baselined what you need each year as $2,000 or $3,000, if you can make $80 extra a week, you can you can save $4,000 or have $4,000 to put right into your cruise fund. So you either got to make extra money or you have to spend less money. So I'm going to use a personal example. We are going cruising in about 20 days. I love the Starbucks coffee. Every day that I go to the office, I get a Trenta. I get the largest iced coffee with a little vanilla in it. It costs me close to $4 a day. If I go to the office every day of the week, that's about 20 days a month. Check that out. That is $80 a month. If I just stop drinking coffee, and you know what? They offer free coffee at my job. So if I stop paying for coffee, I just drink the free coffee, I already have $960 a year that I can put into my cruise fund. And that's just making one little change, not drinking coffee, not drinking a $4 coffee. So imagine if you go out to the chicken wing place and you spend $35 or $40 a week, or you hit the fast food a couple times a week for the family and it's $20 to $25. If you can figure out a cheaper way to do that, then you're going to start being able to rack up money. So remember, you either got to make more money or you got to spend less money. And you know where the magic comes from is if you can do both. Find yourself a little hustle, make some extra money, figure out ways to save money, cut your cable, get rid of storage, anything that's dragging you down. Do you have some sort of $10 a month subscription on something that you don't even use anymore? Boom, that's another $120 right there. So if you want to cruise often, and the people that cruise often and cruise frequently are very good at finding low prices. They're very good at saving up their money and having a real focused, diligent plan to do it. I'm not there yet. We are really new to the cruising game, but I see if you want to cruise multiple times a year, you're going to have to do this exercise. So hope this video is helpful. I hope those are some tips that you can use. What are some ways that you save money? Have you figured out ways to make extra money? Have you figured out ways to make less money? Do you have a good handle on how much your cruise costs? I would love to hear your comments below, because just like you, I'm learning as we go through this process. So if you found this information helpful, please hit that like button. It sure helps the Lido Loca channel out. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. And come on over to Facebook to the Lido Loca cruising community. We'll continue this conversation over there. We were just talking that coffee talk today. And so a lot of people with a lot of good insight on how to save money for your cruise. So again, my name's Tony. I'm with Lido Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.